The quiet echo of absence. In the heart of a worn-down neighborhood on the south side of the city, the sound of laughter and basketballs bouncing against cracked pavement often masked something heavier in the air, an aching absence that no one talked about openly. Oliver and Ethan had been inseparable since the third grade. They both lived in duplex homes with peeling paint and squeaky screen doors, raised by strong, tired mothers and the quiet hush of unanswered questions. They had a bond not just of friendship, but of understanding. Neither had a father at home, and both had learned how to say, "I'm fine," even when everything inside them screamed otherwise. Oliver's father had left when he was 6. He remembered the man's cologne, the scratch of his stubble when he kissed his forehead, and the deep, reassuring sound of his voice. And then nothing. No phone calls, no birthday cards, just a silence that grew heavier with each passing year. His mother, Tamara, worked double shifts at a hospital and kept the household running with grit and grace, but Oliver often found himself wondering what it would have been like to have a man teach him how to tie a tie, or talk to girls, or change a tire when their old Corolla gave out on the freeway. Ethan had never even seen a picture of his dad. His mom, Sarah, once said, "He wasn't the kind to stick around," and left it at that. With no brothers or male relatives nearby, Ethan had grown up figuring things out himself, or from the boys on the block. He started smoking weed at 13, getting into fights at school by 14. He wasn't bad, just lost. A walking question mark in a world full of exclamation points. As they hit high school, the effects of their missing fathers became more visible, not in some dramatic movie scene kind of way, but in small, relentless patterns. Oliver began to withdraw, doubting himself constantly. He'd second guess every answer in class, even though he was one of the smartest kids in the room. He craved approval from teachers, from coaches, from girls he couldn't even make eye contact with. And when he didn't get it, he'd internalize it, thinking, maybe I'm just not enough. Ethan, meanwhile, hardened. He didn't ask for help, ever. He acted like he didn't care about school authority or even his own future. But sometimes, late at night, Oliver would catch him sitting on his porch staring at nothing, earbuds in, hoodie up, just gone. There was pain there, real, raw pain no one had ever taught him how to handle. The lie society kept feeding them, the lie that boys don't need their dads, or that they'll be fine as long as their moms are strong, was starting to crack. It wasn't about toxic masculinity or outdated gender roles. It was about the simple human truth that sons need fathers, not just to teach them how to shave or throw a football, but to model manhood, to set boundaries, to listen, to guide. Then came the turning point. It was their junior year. Oliver had just gotten cut from the basketball team after spraining his knee. He limped home in tears, furious and embarrassed. That night, he snapped at his mother. "You wouldn't understand. You're not a dad." She just stood there, silent and heartbroken, as he stormed into his room. The truth of it was brutal. She couldn't give him everything, no matter how hard she tried. Ethan, around the same time, got caught shoplifting. It wasn't for anything flashy, just a pair of headphones and a candy bar. But when he stood in the principal's office, eyes burning with shame, he realized he didn't even have a male emergency contact to call. His mom came, furious and scared, but the incident left a mark. He felt more alone than ever. Things started to shift slowly. Tamara enrolled Oliver in a community mentoring program. Every Saturday, he met with Mr. Blake, a retired firefighter who listened more than he talked and never made him feel judged. They didn't dive into feelings right away. They started with basic stuff, fixing a bike, budgeting money, building a shelf. But through those simple tasks, Oliver began to grow. He walked straighter, spoke louder, trusted himself more. Ethan wasn't interested in mentoring, but when his uncle Ray, his dad's older brother, reached out, something clicked. Ray was rough around the edges, a mechanic with oil-stained hands and a scratchy voice, but he showed up, took Ethan to work on weekends, didn't sugarcoat anything. And slowly, Ethan began to believe maybe he wasn't destined to repeat his father's mistakes. By senior year, the difference in both boys was undeniable. Oliver started a tutoring club for freshmen struggling with math. Ethan, against all odds, passed all his classes and enrolled in a trade school to become an auto technician. Neither had perfect lives. Their fathers were still gone, but they had found substitutes, men who stepped in, not to replace, but to redeem what was lost. At graduation, as they stood in their caps and gowns, Oliver looked at Ethan and said, "We could have gone down hard, huh?" Ethan smirked. "Yeah, but we didn't." The myth that sons don't need fathers had nearly broken them, but with mentorship, honesty, and time, they discovered a deeper truth. Boys don't just want a father, they need one. And when they don't have one, the world owes them more than silence. It owes them support, direction, and a reminder that even in the absence of a father, fatherhood itself still matters. Because when sons are left to figure out manhood alone, they don't just lose their way, uh, they lose a part of themselves.